Since arriving in Peru, I've ignored just about every item on the tourist to-do list because they all involved waking up at 4 a.m. to visit a crowded mountain or lake for a few hours. Instead of taking a rushed day tour through the Sacred Valley, I decided to move there, where I took daily hikes on Incan ruins for free every morning. When I think about it, I've done minimal sightseeing during this 14-month trip through Latin America. Back when I had a full-time job and a set amount of vacation days, I'd spend a week in a foreign country, often 2 or 3 cities within that week, and rush through the museums, temples, or hiking trails until I was so exhausted I couldn't wait to go home. Now that I'm constantly moving to new countries, I often save sightseeing for friends visiting, or if it's a group activity with new friends and fellow travelers. I prefer a simple, enjoyable daily routine rather than feeling obligated to explore every point of interest. Of course, I made an exception for Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is an ancient Incan city located high in the Andes Mountains. Every year, it receives over 900,000 visitors from all over the world and brings in over $40 million from tourism-related spending on transportation, hotels, food, guides, and souvenirs. The exact purpose of Machu Picchu remains a mystery. Theories suggest it could have been a royal retreat, an observatory, or a religious center. But today, it's certainly a huge contributor to the Peruvian economy. Some people do the 5-day Incan Trail, which can cost up to $1,000 depending on the service you choose. An American girl at my guest house in Cusco chose a more luxurious package. Her entire campsite was set up hours before the guests arrived, and the porters carried all the equipment, including a toilet tent. I love hiking, but not to the extent of multi-day treks, so I chose to take the train to the ancient Stronghold. I was in Peru during the low season, so there was no need for me to book my tickets too far ahead. I went online to the official Machu Picchu site, found an availability in 2 days' time, and walked to the train station to buy my round-trip tickets. Since I was already staying in the Sacred Valley, transport would take half the time than if I was coming from Cusco. The 2 popular train companies are Peru Rail and Inca Rail. I chose Peru Rail because I spotted the ticket office first. I walked up to the booth and asked for the cheapest round-trip tickets on the date of my Machu Picchu time slot. I intentionally chose the 1 to 2 p.m. time slot so I could go home on the same day. The train tickets cost 144 USD, and my Machu Picchu tickets cost 42 USD. On the day of my journey, I woke up an hour earlier than my alarm. I decided to have breakfast at home and enjoy a cappuccino at the train station cafe where I could people watch. It was a kaleidoscope of color. Neon pink backpacks clashed with sky blue windbreakers. The air hummed with a multitude of languages. Water bottles filled, sunscreen applied, hiking boots laced. The train itself was clean and comfortable. It even had wallpaper. The journey began, and we slowly progressed through the mountains, passing small villages and farms. I spotted some trekkers on the Incan Trail. The guests walked in front, wearing comfortable hiking gear and regular backpacks. The porters walked behind in a straight line, wearing identical neon green uniforms with enormous rucksacks on their backs. After about 2 hours, the train arrived at Aguas Calientes, where tourists were to board a 30-minute bus to take them to Machu Picchu. There was a line at the ticket office because there was a power cut, and they couldn't process any payments without electricity. We waited 20 minutes for someone to bring a generator, and the line moved very quickly. It was much hotter here because of the lower altitude. By noon, the sun was scorching. I got an overpriced lunch in one of the cafes near the bus stop. The young waitress asked if I would be staying long in the village. I couldn't help but notice the disappointment in her dark eyes when I told her I was only here for Machu Picchu and would be leaving later that day. She must have heard that a million times. I wondered what it was like to grow up in a village that was a dedicated point of transfer to one of the world wonders. I didn't use a guide for my Machu Picchu experience. Instead, I decided to do independent research before my trip so I'd be well informed and able to explore at my own pace. There were llamas lounging around in the shade, and I decided to do the same. I made my way through all the stops by following the arrows, and finally found a shady area to sit quietly and take in my surroundings. My time slot was from 1 to 2 p.m., but I had a feeling the entry time was enforced, but not the exit time. As long as I made the last bus at 4:30, I'd be fine. I must have sat in the same spot for over an hour. As late afternoon approached and the sun grew more gentle, I wandered around the ruins and tried to imagine being an Incan woman going about my daily life. I'd weave some textiles, tend to my alpacas, carry a basket of corn under one arm with a baby strapped to my back, and participate in religious rituals honoring the gods, probably every day. I wondered if any Incans questioned their purpose in life. Machu Picchu truly is a remarkable feat of engineering. The tightly fit stonework was achieved without mortar or even the use of the wheel. All built in the middle of the Andes Mountains, surrounded by lush valleys and cloud forests. I got back to the Sacred Valley at dinner time and treated myself to grilled whole trout, avocado salad, and fried potatoes at my favorite local restaurant. I went home feeling satisfied and continued reading Motorcycle Diaries by Ernesto Guevara before he was Che. The diary follows the young medical student who takes a motorcycle trip across South America with a friend. Witnessing poverty and social injustices plants the seeds for the revolutionary he would become. Journeys like these have a unique ability of quietly transforming a person. Every twist in the road unveils a new perspective, a hidden facet of the world. By the time the journey ends, the returning traveler isn't the same person who set out. Shortly after my visit to Machu Picchu, the government decided to sell tickets through a private company. Fearing a loss of control, unfair profits for outsiders, and potential price hikes, local businesses, residents, and travel unions banded together in protest. They threw rocks at the police, there was tear gas, and access was blocked to Machu Picchu. Well, the protests succeeded. The government backtracked, canceling the privatization, and opted for a new online ticketing system under national control. The drama sheds light on the intricate reality behind these ancient wonders. While Machu Picchu stands as a testament to the ingenuity and spirituality of the Inca civilization, it also serves as a reminder of the ongoing struggles and complexities of modern society. Before I arrived in Peru, I spent a month in Ecuador. Find out how I spent my time in the Galapagos Islands in this video, where I experience a bizarre incident in the ocean, go on a spontaneous motorbike ride with a handsome young man, and meet some intriguing new people as usual.